Good morning, ladies and geraniums. How you doing today? Well, you probably noticed the big van backed in here. I'm not very good at backing into places. I'm so afraid I'm going to hit something. I really need people to guide me in. But I did all right, I guess. I didn't want to put more than 5 pieces in the big van, but I needed 10. And I says, the hell with it, I'm doing 10. And that's what's in there. We'll take a look here. Well, I got 10 in here and 3 4-foot pressure treated 2x4s. Now, that pile was almost up to the top of the rack the other day when I got, not the other day, but the last time I walked the 5 pieces. Today, it was not that many left, and there was a guy in there that just pulled in and with his cart, and he needed 12. I said, oh, crying out loud. So he was very nice to help me load these things. When they're wet, they're pretty heavy, you know, and I can't move things as good as I used to. I was never a guy that could carry one of these things on his shoulder. I could never, even when I was young, because I got bony shoulders. I've seen guys, and Big Whitey was one of them, that can carry a big heavy plank on his shoulder. I could never carry anything on my shoulders. But anyways, this fella here was very nice, and he says, give you a hand, put him in. So, okay, I need 12, he says, and I told him, well, I need 10. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to unload this, and my objective, and I'm going to go show you now, because I got to go out and get some prescriptions, so I can't start this yet. Yesterday, I started after 2 in the afternoon, after I got back from the car show. So, this is what, part 4 now? I think it is. Tommy's going to edit it, so he's working now, so probably I'll just set the camera up and, you know, he'll do what he has to do later, and I'll record whatever I can. So, these 3 here, this one's holding the door open because it won't stay open, are going to be used to sister the Joist. Let me go show you. One of the worst years of acorns I've ever seen. The piles, I'm like walking on marbles. So I raked this up this morning, and they're just coming down like, you know, thousands a day. And I'm sliding all over the place with these, and it's going to be a SOB doing leaves this year, because I'm not only dealing with leaves, but the acorns, which are, there's got to be millions of them here. Anyways, to get back on the deck, which is the subject of this video, Steve, the Polish hot dog, recommended that I should get the leaves out from underneath this deck. Because when he came up here and came into my driveway, he said, boy, you live in a very damp area. I sure do. So, as you can see, I got in there with the rake, and I got in as far as I could, and got rid of pretty much all the leaves here. But down that end there, see, there's a joist running across here, underneath there. So I can't get in there, so I'd have to, and then you got the steps on the other side. So I may not actually be able to rake them out, and I can't blow them out, and then all the leaves end up under the deck anyways when they start coming down. But anyways, you can see the joist, the original one's got the split in it. So I sistered this up. This was years ago. This is pressure treated here. So I don't need to do that. What I got to do is this one with a 2x4, and this is not rotted, it's just, I'd rather just put a sister another one up and screw to that. The same with this one. Because you can see in the middle here where I'm pointing to, that is a crack in there. And it's not going to make a good firm bond. And then, of course, as I said on the other video, there's going to be another 2x4 pressure treated on top of this pressure treated. And I'm going to tell you something. When I screwed that into these 4x4s, first of all, I put a nail in it, a number 12 nail. I pre-drill this. I always pre-drill. I almost bent over the number 12 going into these 4x4s. These here were put in 1986. Hard as hell. So, after I got a nail in and I got it leveled where I wanted it, then I put 2 screws. I pre-drilled this and put 2 decking screws in each end here. So that's screwed to these. So as you can see, that's what's going to happen. All the screwing would be done here. I do a lot of screwing, don't I? And this deck board joist is solid down here. It's just up here. So the wood will come out and it'll be even with this. And I cut back a lot of this. I took the chisel and claw hammer and just pulled out the wood so it's not going to be in contact with the 2x6. There's a little block right there. And the reason that's there is because I use decking screws to screw the 2x4, which is on the other side of that. And it came through the other side of the joist. And in order to not get your legs ripped up working in there, because they were sticking out about 1/4 of an inch. And unless I took a metal grinding wheel, you know, like I do with bodywork, and grind them off, I figured I'll just put that piece of wood there as a protector so I don't get ripped up going in there. Now you can see to the left of that, you see a little white there. There's a little fungi on there, but that's nothing new. We live in fungus. You know, this has always been that way. So we're used to it. You know, we can't do anything about it. So, you know, you got a lot of trees around here, and that's just the way it is. So, but Steve had said, you know, you really should get rid of the leaves underneath here. It promotes the dampness more. And he's correct there, but it's always a big job for me to do that. So I think I chatted long enough. What I'm going to do is get the wood unloaded. And then I got to go out to get our prescriptions. And then I'll come back on this probably early this afternoon. Okay, I didn't record doing those joists there because I just can't do both. Tommy's working, so. Anyways, as you can see, I sisted up another pressure-treated 2x4, and I screwed it in. Here, I have another piece here. As you can see, the joist isn't bad. It just got a lot of holes in it from previous nailings and so forth. So we've already got a piece down here, as you can see, which is not pressure treated. I went up under here because I couldn't get the screw to lock in here. So we're using this joist here, and we're going to be screwing into that. As a matter of fact, there's a screw in there. You know, it's hard to tell you got the screws in there because they go in quite deep. And you can see a slight hole there, but you really don't know if there's a screw in there or not. Anyways, so we're going to continue on this. What I'm going to do now is I got a screw in each end, and to save on decking screws, these are 2.5 inches. I bought another box of the 3-inch at 11.5, almost $12 a box. So I'm not probably going to have enough in that one box to do these 10 boards here. So I'm going to have to go into these, which only are 2.5 inches. So they'll go into the new wood, the joist here, 1 inch. Now that should be fine, as long as I'm going into the new pieces I'm putting in here. I got to put another one over here. And I bought an extra one so that I can slide it up, cut it and slide it up under here. So I'm going to do all that, and we'll set the camera up so you can watch me. Okay, so I'm going to be, instead of using all my screws up, I'm going to be using some number 12 or number 16 common nails in that. You see me pulling my guts out trying to get that nail out with a claw hammer? This is just a temporary board I put in here so it wouldn't fall through. And now that's nailed into the secondary sister joist. That wood is Douglas fir that is not pressure treated. The same way with this redwood piece I put in here. That's left over from a table I had outside near the workbench. That is solid. So, and the same with this piece that's here. But I couldn't get that out. So I got to get a crowbar and pull that out. So I can start putting my 2x6s in here now. And the first one I got to lay is over here. And I got to notch out for the 4x4s, as I said. And so this is good and strong now. It's a little awkward working when I pre-drill, and you got to pre-drill. Even when I pre-drill, I missed the thing. There's no way I was never able to use decking screws or wood screws without pre-drilling. They just go right over. They go sideways on me. You have to pre-drill. Matter of fact, it tells you to pre-drill using these deck screws here. You won't get no arguments from me for pre-drilling. If you don't pre-drill, you're not going to be able to get them in. Okay, so I got to get my crowbar and get that out. And then I've got a 2x6 here. This is a little more dry than the ones I got out on the picnic table. The 9 that I got out there, and this makes 10. I'm going to fit that in there and start measuring out for the cutout so I can slide that in and get that into place. And then I'll start putting the pieces across this way. Now whether they're all going to fit in there the same as the original ones, they are 2x6s. They're about 5.5 inches wide, but there is a variation, and because these are wet, most of them are anyways, there could very well be some wider ones in there. Okay. Well, I have to notch up in there, so that's what I'm in the process of doing. It's not going to be a good fit because these crisscrosses were replaced at the time I did this decking here. So trying to slide it up underneath isn't too good. That one didn't do too bad. I couldn't get it close though. So when it commence cutting that, we got to cut it by hand on some parts of it here. So I want to get that in. Then, as I said before, I wanted to get this in and cut out for the 4x4s. But I got to get this in first. Then it should be pretty good going this way. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, Tommy just got home. So he's going to run the camera.
Yep.
For me, I just get in it, and then half the time I don't turn the camera on. I got to notch out, and I'll take you over here. Come up the ramp, Tom. Take you over here and show you. Then we'll put the camera somewhere where you can see me. I really have a tripod for a bob loft, so we'll have to put it on the side of a tin can, you know. But anyways, what we're doing here is over here. We got to take this 2x6 and we got to wedge it up underneath here. But it won't go in there because it needs to be driven in straight. I can't drive it in straight because it hits the house. So the only other thing I can do is to come in at an angle. So this is the 4x4 post, Well, actually, this is the crisscross, which is a 3.5 inch, same width as a 4x4. So I got to notch this down, which I've lost my hammer again. Here it is.
You always lose.
I swear, every job I've been doing here is a right-handed job for a left-handed guy.
You're always losing things, Dad.
Always misplacing things. I have two 7 1/4 inch skill saws, and I can't find either one in the shed. But I got my old Craftsman here, which is a very good saw that I found in a wooden toolbox that I made. So I have a better one that I bought at the yard sale. It has a laser on it. I only paid $10 for it. You know, yard sales are very beneficial.
Yeah.
You know, you get some good deals. Unfortunately, we don't have the deals anymore. So let's see if I can knock that off. We're doing it on an angle. We don't want to take the whole piece out. That's what we really want right there. Okay. So now if we can get it in here, then we'll have to battle one. But most likely I lose the battle. But now I got to get my carcass over on the other side here.
So you got all the wood.
Things are going slow, yes. Very, very slow today.
You got all the wood, that's good.
It's not going slow because of me physically. It's going slow because I have to cut these angles out over here, these notches and stuff, and they have to be just right. You know, it's a lot harder to rebuild something than to build it from the ground up, because the decking always goes on first, then these crisscross railings go over it. So I have to reach in there with a vice grip and try to get the nail out so I can slide my wood in there, because the nail comes on a 45 at an angle. So now we got to try to get that in there. Yeah, take a look at that. All right, get the camera over here and look at. See what I mean? What I was talking about to my friends? That's how it does. That's how you do it. It's a Mickey Mouse way to do it. But we do it.
You do what you can.
We do it. Screw it. We do it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to screw today. We're going to screw. We're going to do some screwing. Well, I've been screwing all morning long here. Actually, it wasn't morning. I started out getting my tools in the morning, and I had to stop.
I'll put it down.
Prescriptions, pick up the Monday night grinders.
Spicy Italian for me.
That's what we got. You got a large one, because you and I are going to split that.
Yeah.
The wife wants a Twinkie. All right, so now we have got to get our tools here. Alright, so the next one that's going to be real hard, as I mentioned on the video earlier, is the one that's going to go over here. This is my seat, by the way. The one that's going to go in here, it's going to be cut out for the... I got a cut out for this. You see where you may not be able to see that, but I raised the nail out.
You can see it.
See, so I can get the board up underneath there. But I couldn't do that on this one. But because this wood is here, as I said, already fastened down, I had to go like this and then go like that. But you can see it pleases me. Now over here there's a little hole here, but I'm not going to worry about it, because normally this piece that I cut out of here, this is 4 inches here, so the board is 5.5. I had to, in order to get it to go through here, because there's a nail that's impossible to get at that goes down into the stud underneath. Actually, it toenails into the 4x4. And there's other things in the way, like this. In other words, this comes straight here. I'd have to do all kinds of angles and stuff, so there's no problem. Water gets in here anyways, and this is all going downhill. This part of the ramp. So there never was a perfect fit in here, and we're not worried about it. This is not a piece of furniture.
It's a deck.
Alright, so I'll get my seat. This wood here, some of this wood is real strong, this particular piece. I couldn't bang those nails out. I just bent them over. I could not bang them out. That's how hard that wood is. That's Douglas fir. So some of this stuff is good. And I've used some of it down at the other end down there to sister up the joist. Doesn't matter, the joist rots out with pressure treated anyways.
Yeah.
And then I put the 4x4 pressure treated over it. And these are all screwed in. And some of them are nailed, but most of them are all screwed in.
All screwed in, huh?
Screw it.
Screw it.
Screw it. Okay, we are looking good over there. We're even here. Even, Stephen? Okay, now, what we're going to do now is we drive these hard. As you may, if you've been following my video, pressure-treated wood will shrink. It's wet. Not soaking wet. Some of them are, but the ones I got are wet. And they lose about half their weight when they dry out because the one I got leaning on the railing over there that's going to go here is almost dry. And it weighs half as much as these do, about, by feeling. So, I read this too, and I knew this. When I did the deck with Douglas fir, I put a number 12 nail. You just lay a nail, stand it up. You can tap it a little bit if you want, and that's a spacer. So the board is spaced a nail width apart. However, with pressure treated, you drive it together, and it'll shrink, and then you'll have your space. Okay, we're starting another session here. For some reason, my bob lob don't turn on. I don't know if it needs to charge or the card's full or what. So I'm using Tommy's bob lob W1 right here, and I was in the process of measuring out that piece at the far end there to notch out for the 4x4s. So that's, if I can find my pencil, we'll get started on that. not a perfect fit. There's about a 1/4 inch space between the post and the beam. That's alright. It's hard to notch out things and then knock it out with a chisel. It never comes out even. Sometimes too much comes out. Wood over here now. Running out of daylight. I'm not going to nail that piece in, or screw it in rather, until I get the rest of these over, and I'll see if they come out even. If they don't, and I need to shim this down, I may have to get the table saw out and do it. I hope not. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do that today. I'm just running out of... The sun is going down fast. Every one of them, because they hit right up against the house.
It's recording.
Trying to get it done tonight. I'm not going to be able to. I can't even lay them down because they're an inch too long.
You saving that?
I don't want the crown down, and because that'll cause it to cup. It's very confusing the way they word it on the internet. But I always put my wood this way, because this is the bark end right here. You don't want to put the bark end down, because it's just going to cause the wood to cup up, and then, so you want it to be all face down. That's the way I've always done it. But I've seen some pictures on the internet where they're saying that's incorrect and this is correct. No, this is not correct. This is correct. So, unfortunately, you've got a good finish on one side and not so good on the other. Like in this case here, it's fairly smooth, so we can do that. We can put this, what I call the crown down. I call that the crown down. Alright, enough. I gotta get this in. Cut them off so I can drag them over there. Carry them over and lay them in there. They may not all fit either. Each thing I use, I put it away. Get darker and darker and darker. We got to get that over here. Put that on the refrigerator over here. What you got to do is you just hold the board like that. That's all. Now, when I'm cutting, when I cut and I move in and I go on this board and this board, you got to move your hands to this. When I get in here, no, your hands are going to be over there, not here. Just keep the board from moving. So when I'm sawing, you hold this board first. Okay, you watch the saw. When it goes into here, then you move your hands to this one. Then when it moves to here, move to that one and then the last one. If not, the boards will get pushed off the edge. All right, you ready? Start with this one. Okay? Perfect, but it'll do. Now you want to go get your gloves, go ahead. I'm going to bring one of these over. Let the thing go. Oh, man. This is a wet and heavy one. Slide it under here. Slide it under here. Just put it under here. Alright, there you go. One more? Yeah. I got it. Alright, it's heavy. Take your time carrying it. We're just dropping them in. We're not screwing them in tonight. But I cut off an inch on every one of them. Wait a minute. Wow. All right, that's what I was afraid of. That ain't gonna fit there. Put it on top here. Tomorrow I gotta cut this down.
Which way are you?
Just yeah. There you go. Just lift it. There you go. Good enough. See, that's not gonna fit in there. His face. So I gotta take. Unfortunately, I can take the skill saw, I guess, and cut off whatever I need to cut off, because this here ain't gonna fit in there. It's not gonna fit in there, see? Yeah. I knew that was gonna happen. There's different widths, 2x6, but not a problem. That's tomorrow. We'll keep the back door secured so nobody goes out it tonight. Now we're going to put tools away. All right. That concludes the video for this time. This is what, part 4?
Yep.
Okay. So temporarily I got them laid in. So I have to screw these 3 down, and then I got to rip this one down. Now I don't want to rip this one. That doesn't fit in here. I would rather rip this one. The when I put the notches in, that's why I didn't secure that. I pull that out, rip some off of it. Probably, I would say a good inch. And after I do that, then this should fit right in there, and then we commence the screwing. Okay, that's it, folks. That's it. I'm putting tools away. See you in the next one.
Part 5, yeah. Thanks for watching.